Wow, I just think it's amazing that everyone here is saying the same thing in a different way. And if that isn't the ultimate of diversity, I don't know what is. Yeah. We've got the music going on, Vance is reading poetry, Elaine, oh my goodness. I let go of how to pronounce my Swahili words now. I don't have to think about it anymore. But I will ask you to indulge me. My madre is not here today, and my dad would love to hear me, so I'm going to attempt to record myself so that they get a chance to hear the things I constantly talk about. Okay. So on this last Sunday of the year, it's the last Sunday of the year, we get a chance to reflect on absolutely everything we've had this year and where we want to go in the new year. And I'm wrapping up diversity because I can, and I was asked to. We are actually right in the middle of Kwanzaa. I'm going to talk a little bit about Kwanzaa, but before I talk about Kwanzaa, I want to be really super honest with you. You all know that I was raised in the faith base of Judaism. I've been a religious scientist for many, 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 many years, and I call myself a Jewish religious scientist. I no longer pay attention to the whole Christmas, whatever thing, and the differences and whatever. I figure we all celebrate or don't something. So I am used to wishing everybody have a joyful holiday season or safe season or whatever. And born and raised in the Bay Area as I am, we are a melting pot of every possible cultural, religious, gender you could imagine. And for that, I am blessed because that gives me an opportunity to learn about everything. And if we, in this philosophy, believe that we are all connected to God, we're all connected to one another, then the more I get a chance to learn about differences of how people's cultural interactions are, I get to be more open. I get to have more fun. I get to have greater understanding. And I get to see you and you and you as the sameness of me, but also with your differences that you have that make you unique, that make you individualized expressions of God. But what I've learned is we've become such a melting pot, we don't see each other really. And on some levels that's great not to be, we're kind of colorblind, we're kind of gender blind in some areas, and that's good. But when we forget that somebody is not practicing Christmas celebration and greet everybody with Merry Christmas, when in fact they're Hindi, they're Sikh, they're Jew, they are pagan, or there's something other than that I'm aware of. We basically are putting everybody in a homogenized box, shaking it up, spreading it on the floor, and wanting it to look the same. And for whatever reason, maybe it's because this month we've been talking about diversity, I got prickly. Hanukkah was earlier than it's ever been my entire life. We did Hanukkah the second night during Thanksgiving. So by the time we got closer to the Christmas thing, I was way over the retail therapy issues of it. I was not even able to connect to the lights and look at them as I usually do and say, oh my God, they're so pretty. Everyone's running around, hustle, bustle, crazy madness, and they're all going, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. And one day I just snapped and went to the oh humbug place called You're Getting Nothing. Nothing. Told my brother, I'm not doing Hanukkah this year, you're getting nothing. He just looked at me like, whatever. You're having a moment, I don't really care. Well, that's totally cool, but you know what? I snarked at somebody outside of my immediate family. Not only is that not cool, but as a minister soon to be, I walk around snarking people. I've got a body trail of people I've snarked. I'm not doing Christmas. So this guy's making my coffee the day after Christmas, and he says to me, hey, did you have a really nice Christmas? And I looked at him with a straight, somber, partly snarly face, and I said to him, I don't do Christmas. Young guy's minding his own business. Basically what he's saying to me is, I'm wishing you well and wishing you joy and happiness in this season, and I hope it's been that way for you. But I took it personally. Certainly you should see the pink lesbian triangle / Star of David on my forehead. I don't do it, okay? So piss off. I told myself I wasn't going to say those kind of words. So I said, it's funny, awesome, thank you. So I said, I don't do Christmas. And he looked at me and he says, oh, I'm sorry. I said, no, it's, I do Hanukkah, and it's really early this year, and I'm kind of over it already, and, I'm sorry. I hope yours was really nice. And then I cleaned it up nicely by saying, I'm certain you were a very good boy, so Santa brought you lots of goodies, and I winked at him. And I walked out of there with my coffee, and I muttered under my breath a couple of comments that were unbecoming to anyone, saying to myself, you're walking out there leaving wounded people with your attitude of uncaring. And really all you're saying is, not everyone embraces the same thing. Get to know people in your immediate world. Somebody that does your nails, your hair, your whatever. And if they do something a little bit different, know enough about it to wish them that in your good wellness as opposed to blanket statement. So when I had an opportunity to learn a little bit about Kwanzaa, it was about what you were singing, that we are all connected in our own individualized expression. It was all about what you were speaking and what you were speaking. Kwanzaa is a holiday that was set up in 1966 by a professor and political activist, Malala Karenga. And at the time in the 60s, some of us are old enough to have remembered the Black Panthers and all of that at that time. This was a way to create community in the African American culture. This was a way to create another holiday besides what was going on in December for people of African American descent. And it was about community. They studied these 7 principles that they call Nuzuo Saba. And each day is a different principle. And what they're doing is they're teaching their children about community and about how it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to keep the community rich and strong and standing in their dominion. It's a 1-week celebration, December 26th through January 1st. I've decided I'm going to start practicing Kwanzaa. Just because of what it represents is a great reminder after I, for whatever reason in December, gotten a little bit wound up. It's a way to go inward and say, okay, let me pull out some good stuff. So the 3 colors for Kwanzaa are kind of on my table here, black, red, and green. They have something really similar to a menorah, which I found pretty amazing. It's called a kinara. And it's actually a main lighter with the black candle, and let me just take away 2 lights, and we have a kinara. And on the right side are green candles, and on the left side are red candles, and each candle represents something. So the first night we start out with the black candle. The color black is a representation of the African American skin coloring. The red is bloodshed of the people. The green is a symbology of the homeland Africa, the land itself, green. I'm going to talk a little more about what the colors mean for each day. But each day, again, the candle is lit, and at the end of the 7 days, they're all shining brightly. And as a Jew with the menorah lit up with all the 8 candles, it was like, wow, we're so similar. How interesting. So I put that up there because I thought it was a great symbol. So the black candle is for the day Imoja, or unity. Unity was about unity within yourself, your family, your community. And the other candles, they would light alternating. So they go red, next night green, back and forth till they're lit. The red candles represent Kaumba, Umjama, and I actually downloaded this and practiced it last night so I wouldn't sound spastic. So much for that. Kiji Jagala. And, exactly. Kaumba refers to creativity. And in this community, it's talking about you use all of your creative ideas, whatever your gifts and your talents are that are creative, whatever that is, to give to your community, to contribute to the community. I like that. I thought, wow, that's amazing. Because it's encouraging people to realize they have gifts and talents and to use them. Okay? The next one is Umjama, and that means cooperative economics. Basically, it's saying support your community, buy local. Support one another in your own prosperity by shopping in your local community. I loved this. This is a wonderful thing. Shop in shops and use those resources. And my favorite Kiji Jagula is self-determination. And if we stop and think about it, in religious science, we're talking about standing in your own truth, standing in your own dominion, taking your power. Instead of remembering history and negativity, take your power, stand in your dominion. And this can be part of setting up your own destiny, your own desire, your own path. The green candles represent Ujima, which is collective responsibility, Kia, purpose, and Imani, faith. Kumjia refers to working and building together in a community. It also means helping one another. So as a community, you're helping to troubleshoot and solve the problems of the community collectively. So you're basically having ownership in your community. And then Nia is the concept of restoring people of African descent to their traditional greatness, to standing in the beauty and the pride of who they are as people. And that can be in the community at large, but also, once again, going back to your own dominion. Standing proud, standing tall in who you are. You were singing, I was thinking about it, and it was like, oh my God, we're doing Kwanzaa right now. And then Imani is faith. The only thing I can say about faith is our connection to the divine within ourselves. Faith is our connection to God. When we have faith, we can overcome and we can restore anything. And so it's demonstrating to the people in the community, if you have faith, no matter what crisis goes on, you can find a way to know you are taken care of. So that is the essence of Kwanzaa. And it's helping people that were squelched, if you will, to stand in their positivity as a community and to teach their children their gifts and talents. It was intended to be kind of like an alternative December holiday. It's practiced throughout the world, and many people celebrate it in conjunction to another traditional faith base, because this is more of a celebration as opposed to a religious holiday. The seventh day, Imani, is set up with great feasts. Many communities gather in community setups or in family setups with lots of food, because we've all learned through life, when you get a group of people together with food and nourishment and you break bread, there is a connection that is rich and people share. There's gift exchanges. It's encouraged mostly for the children, but all people do gift exchanges. The most important part of the gift exchange, it's encouraged that it be handmade. It's not about monetary going out and buying something and giving it to you. It's about, I made something and I made it with you in mind and I'm giving it to you, so that you understand the beauty of receiving something, whether you liked it or not, because someone gave it to you and made it for you. So I look at this and think, oh my goodness, Here we are, we're going into the new year. We are a community. This particular spiritual center is a community of many, many, many communities throughout the Bay Area, the state of California, and beyond. This community was intended to bridge a gap between San Francisco and the South Bay and the East Bay. But we embrace absolutely every single traveler that comes through, passing by to another location. Maybe this is their home. I'd like you to really think about, for the new year, what do you want this community to be? What do you want its foundation to look like? I want it to look like the celebration of Kwanzaa, where we embrace one another and that we care enough about each other to know about each other and to know that we are here to stand strong, to troubleshoot, and to be able to nurture one another. So the amount of people it takes to build this village, I can't count that high. The amount of people it will take for us in the new year to continue to connect and contact and say, I care enough about you to get to know you. I can't imagine that many numbers on my hands and feet. And I wish that for all of our communities in our own personal lives and beyond. So, when you catch yourself being snarky, is that how you want the new year to be? And if you are snarky, find a loving way to, first of all, be with yourself that you snarked. Forgive yourself for snarking. And find a nice way to, not so much apologize, but let the other person know that was not truly how I wanted to be with you. I wanted to be with you in a different way, and it came out in a snark. And I like the word snark because it doesn't sound quite as catty or nasty as some of the other words. And I don't want to have self-talk that sounds that bad. So for this new year, you know, if you do a resolution, great. If you don't, embrace the beautiful qualities of this music, of this poetry, of the aloha spirit of Amana. Not Amana.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. I'm
You got it.
too many exciting vibrations going on my body. Embrace those. Embrace those and allow this to be part of your new year. And the qualities that seem the most special to you, make every part of this new year bright and light and shining of your essence, of your joy, because that will be your continuation of how the community will look for you.